If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 528. Still Got Game's official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I'm Brian Shadow Emmerich.
And that's 3 fucking weeks in a row without missing an episode.
Woo.
So I think the last time this happened was probably 7 years ago. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. We got a streak going on here, although there's not an episode next week because I'm going to be gone. So yeah. But 3 in a row. How can you throw a stick at that, right? It's
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Pretty
good. Yeah.
You guys may have a duo episode the next week after that because I will be gone. I'm going to be in Colorado.
Good to know. What are you doing?
3 in a row. We're going to see some friends in Colorado, flying out there to Denver, first time in Colorado, and seeing Guster at Red Rocks.
Oh, wow.
Which will be cool.
Red Rocks, great venue.
Going around and hiking and doing some other stuff. So
hiking.
You're like a Selden now. Wow.
Yeah, seeing Rocky Mountain National Park. My birthday's the 2nd, so we'll be doing something for that, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, your birthday's August 2nd?
Yep.
You know whose birthday that is?
Kev's.
Kevin Smith's, yes.
I know.
You guys are birthday buddies.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Also Obama.
Oh.
Wait.
I didn't know.
Or he's the first. I think he might be the first. I knew there was somebody else that was famous.
Ming Chen is the first.
MTV was the day before I was born. It came out.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I've been to Colorado, but not been to Colorado. I've only been in the airport for, connections or whatever, but never outside in Colorado. So
yeah, you got to do commerce outside the airport, otherwise it doesn't count.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, why don't we just hop right in the show proper? If you're in the chat right now, you want to leave us a comment, a question, drop it in chat. Something you just want us to talk about, drop it in chat. Otherwise, we'll just hit off with a mailbag for feedback and questions from our last week's episode. Normally I say our last episode, but it really was last week. Like we're setting some serious precedents here.
It's like January all over again, or February, wherever it was.
Yeah,
we're like, whoa, we can do a whole month, and we didn't, but it was close.
No,
we're just setting up for disappointment.
Setting up for failure. Yes, yeah.
Right.
And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. From Hell 666 asks, I love your show. What percentage of your audience are actually older gamers? Based on some of the comments I hear, it sounds like you also have younger fans. To be honest, I don't know. We don't get those demographic things.
Well, I listen to it usually. Ryan, you listen to it again or no?
Do I? No, I don't have time for that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Nobody got time for that. I do sometimes, but no, I think that because the website, which people don't probably go to as much anymore, it was 25 and older. So I mean, that's quote older, but I mean, we're much older. So
I forget. I think it was Hit that pointed out, like some people, they had numbers after their tag, that if you took them as their birthday, then it was no longer like, we had some fans that were younger than 25. Oh, and we did have a few people that were like, oh, we listened to your show at the frat house, so those people can't be 25.
Cool. Right.
So
I think
I would still guess the majority are high, right?
Probably. I mean, you guys made the site, and you made it to kind of get away from the quote Timmies back then, which were just like the little squeaky kids who were getting on Xbox Live audio way back in the day when people actually talked.
And they said the most racist, hurtful, homophobic shit you've ever heard, and you're like, wow, that's a kid. Yeah, let's not.
So that was to get away from that.
Yeah.
And we figured, and you guys figured probably older would be better.
Yep.
But 25 was your cutoff. So yeah, who knows at this point? I don't know.
I would probably say at least, and this is just throwing a number out there, 80 to 85% of our audience is definitely over 25. Does that seem like a reasonable guess?
Sure.
I would say
But is
so.
that
I mean,
old?
especially, I think even podcast listeners themselves tend to generally be the older populations also.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's getting younger though. Like my son listens to podcasts and he's 10.
Okay. So yeah,
He doesn't listen to
that's a good-
mine.
That's
Hey,
a good
thank
data
God he
point.
doesn't listen to this one.
I don't tell
Holy
him what
shit.
it's called. He doesn't know. Like, can I see you do your podcast? No.
No.
Maybe in a couple of years.
Derek will ruin your childhood if you let him.
Actually,
Right.
no. Now that you say that, when Evan was in high school, all of a sudden I got a friend request on one of the social media sites from someone, and he went to the same high school, and I was like, "Do you know this kid?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, he loves your show." And so he would literally watch every week live, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It seemed weird to like accept a friend request from like a high school kid, but yeah. So
Nice.
there are some high school kids that do listen, but I think the bulk of our audience is probably more. There's on you two ends of the spectrum. You have high school kids and you have Blue Steel, and then we're
Yeah,
probably
old
somewhere
and
in the middle there.
achy
Yes,
and
yes,
yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, I know we have like people on the site who are like probably right now 60s, 70, maybe even.
We have
Like
Deep
we used
Ends
to.
is Deep Ends has pushed that.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
Mhm. So
I mean, back like 15 years ago, he was probably 50. So yeah.
that even 15 years ago, we had like the over 40 league, the over 50 league. I'm not sure we had an over 60, but those guys would have aged into that by this point. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, next up. This is no. You move your cursor. This is a hard one to read. Joy Bor Hidnick. What the fuck? No wonder why you don't need a number after that. Who else would put those letters together?
Maybe they're foreign.
Oh, maybe. Sorry. Yeah, I take that back. Joy Borhitnik comments. I started listening to your podcast about 2 months ago. I was in my car listening to the CADcast, competing show, name drop. And when it was over, I used the recommendation engine, whatever the fuck that is, to give me a suggestion for another show, and in you came. Love it. Listener for life now.
Awesome.
So, a little bit to unpack here. Like,
Discovery works.
I don't have a recommendation engine on my, like, when I'm on a podcast, it's just like, you're all caught up. Like,
Well, maybe they were listening to it on
Well,
like
so there are some
YouTube or
podcast
something.
apps that will give you suggestions. If you like this podcast, listen to this or this podcast.
okay,
Yeah,
so like a
Spotify
third party app.
or-
Yeah.
You can listen to audio on YouTube and not even watch the video. So who knows? Maybe it's something like that. I don't know what. Do you know what CADcast is? I don't.
That's cheap
Cheap
ass
ass
gamer.
gamer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. got
They're
it.
they're a well-known podcast that's
Yeah, I
been
know
around for
Cheap
quite a
Ass
while. They do a good show though. So
They're
Nice.
the very first PAX East Wombat from that show, Stuart Nacht, was one of my panelists on my panel. And then we would see him and Dave and Robert every year at E3. One year they even threw a party there, and we went to their party. So yeah, they're
Ooh.
good guys. Yeah.
Nice.
fellow Long Islander, one of them.
Two of them are from Massapequa. So yes, yeah. So yeah. Glad the recommendation engine worked, and glad to have you with us, Joy Borhidnik.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, and here's the first effort from Charisma Devil.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, he's the one that said, "Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This is what he came up with."
this is the first
This
test.
is
Charisma Devil
go.
asks, "What are your thoughts on Twitch removing former President Trump's ban after 3 years?" So
I think it's nice that Twitch removes bans from people that have been banned after a certain time. That's all I got to say.
and Twitter already
Sure.
did. Elon dropped the ban. I'm not sure if Trump had a ban on YouTube.
Wait, do you think Trump knew he was banned from Twitch?
I don't even
Trump
think
knows
Trump
what
knew how to
Twitch
log
is.
into Twitch.
Why
So,
why would he have a Twitch? I don't understand. But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I
Uh,
think that probably candidates should not be banned from being able to promote themselves.
have even like
Yeah,
even publication of their
access.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But I
So,
think that's all the political I'm gonna get on that.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, this just taps on like, all the candidates, all these, they all have accounts across all the social medias. They don't actually run most of their shit. They have a staff member that
No.
probably runs it
I'm
for them.
pretty sure that back before Trump ran the first time, I'm pretty sure when he was
I think
doing
that was
random, non-spelled correctly spastic tweets at 2 in the morning, I'm pretty sure that he was running his own Twitter.
Well, yes, I
mean,
know, but I would say the
yeah.
majority of people have, they have a
They have
staff
a
that
social media
maintains their
team.
social
Yes, yeah.
media team.
Yeah.
Yes, regular
So-
people do that.
Yes, yeah.
So he might not
Yes.
even know Twitch exists, but
Yes.
something might have
Yeah.
been posted by him, by his PR staff, and got him banned. And now they're off, but it doesn't matter.
All right. Well, good first stab, Charisma Devil. Let's see if you can reach
It's always next
LTS
week.
levels by continuing. Well, it's
Sure.
technically 2 weeks, so you have 2 whole
Well,
weeks to think of something.
2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
All right. And last, but certainly not least, Altius asks, when do you think the bubble will burst for PC handhelds? The market is getting oversaturated, and since the Steam Deck came out, there have been no fewer than 8 major competitors. Asus released a Republic of Gamers one, and now MSI has released their competitor. Well, I'd say some of those other ones are pretty big competitors too, Altius. But do either of you guys have any of these handheld PCs?
As close as I get
don't.
is the backbone on my Android phone. So that's
Yeah, I don't have one either.
I think that my buddy has one, and he was like singing the praises of the Steam Deck from when it came out, but recently his basically the screen died on it. It was one of the launch models, I think. And he didn't get the OLED, he just stuck with that one. And I think he eventually did fix it, but it sounds like maybe they weren't built quite as well as we'd hoped. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a while before things get all sorted out. If there's that many competitors, then it's still kind of in the Wild West,
yeah,
I think.
I looked up this MSI one, and I saw it's got for the base model, it's $750. So that's a pretty decent entry into the system, higher price than most. So
With these, you're able to hook them into a screen if you want. Is that right? I think so, because I think that's how it was at
maybe some of them.
I think the Steam Deck you can, because I'm pretty sure someone was doing that when I was at this gaming convention. But if you can do that, I mean, might as well get one, because then you can take it with you. It's like a Switch.
a little PC.
Take it with you,
can
plug
take
it in the
with you.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's I'm not in the market for it right now, because like if I was commuting to New York City and I was going like an hour and 20 minutes each way, it'd be something I'd be interested in. Or
While
if I did
you're
a lot of
driving,
traveling for work.
When Selden's driving and he's playing his Steam Deck.
Well,
yes.
no, I'd be riding the train into the city. So
I knew what you meant.
So, like if I was using mass transit, or if I was traveling a lot, if my agency sent me across the country and I was put up in a hotel, I'd probably get one of these. It's just, I'm at home. I got enough screens and areas that I can go play whatever I want, whenever I want. So I don't really need one of these.
So you bragger.
Yeah, you got to think of a use case for them. Because even for me, like I have a Switch, and when I first got it, I think I took it with me on the train occasionally for a little while, just because it was kind of a novelty. But after a while, I mean, I have a 45-minute train ride when I go into the city, and that's enough to kind of get started on something, and then then you get off the train. You got to carry it, and you got to, I don't know. It's just sort of a pain eventually because they're so big. But if something that's smaller than that, you would just have your phone. So I don't know. It's a weird use case. I'm not sure
Yeah.
I
uh,
mean,
who
it,
it's for exactly.
but to go back to his question, when do we think the bubble will burst on it? I just, I don't know what the price point of creating these things and are they selling these at a loss just to try to get them in hands, or are they actually making a profit on the
Oh,
unit some
I
way?
would say they would have to be making a profit because there's
Yeah.
no benefit for them to make them at a loss because it's
Yeah.
not their software they're selling. It's
I
Right.
mean,
PC
750, they're
games.
probably making something, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I know I have a RetroTink 4K. It's got an FPGA chip in it, which is actually crazy expensive, and you can't sell from less than 750 and still make any sort of money off of it. So it's possible that these are really close on
Like
razor thin
low
margins.
margin. Yeah, yeah. They're just
Yeah,
counting
could
on the
be.
quantity. Yeah.
I guess because they're not making money off the games.
Yeah, no, they can't. That they're not. You can't make it up on the back end, so they have to make it on the front end.
Yeah,
But like you said, they could just be taking a razor thin margin and counting on just a huge quantity of these things uh to make out. Like
yeah.
it's
I don't think they think they're going to beat the Steam Deck, but I think they might try to be like the number two.
yep, yep,
And
yep.
then it's the Steam Deck and them, and then they can kind of have a battle there. But with if there's eight of them or more, right now that's sort of Wild West to me. It's sort of trying to see how it all shakes out, see what people like the best, what features and whatever. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be a while, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure the bubble has been blown yet before the bubble can be burst, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the bubble's being blown properly at this point. It's
Well,
just the market might not be there for it, what they're looking to do. So
yeah.
I mean, it might be a dead market they're getting into.
Yeah, you need to be blown properly. So, yes. All
That's why my
right.
son doesn't listen to this.
All right. Well, thank you for the questions and comments from Hell666 and Joy Bor Hidnick and Charisma Devil. Nice first stab. And Altius.
I'm gonna give Charisma Devil a little advice with this question. Look at how Altius is formed. He asks the question, he gives a couple follow-up points to it, and then wraps it up. You can't just throw a question out there like what you did there, Charisma Devil. I think it would have been good if you said, Trump removing former President Trump's ban for 3 years, like X, Y, and Z celebrities and political figures have also been released. What do you think about
Well,
that?
I mean,
Just give a little bit more effort into the question, and
Wow.
give your opinion with a question.
Usually I'm
you
the
can
judgy one here, but
you can
Selden's.
throw a question. You can throw a question out there, but that really has nothing to do with gaming other than Twitch streams games sometimes. But people do other stuff on Twitch, so it's sort of maybe try to focus it more on the gaming side is my
These two.
advice.
Charisma Devil, I think you did a great job. Like, these two are just so. They're judgy
Okay.
motherfuckers.
Okay.
Charisma Devil said they wanted to be as good, as
Okay.
popular as Altius the last couple episodes. And you got to look at what Altius is doing. He's got a formula. He's got a style. If you want to beat him, you got to join the game that he's at. You can't just drop a kind of a lewd question looking for a political rant.
This is the one time I wasn't a dick, so I feel good. Look, don't listen to these dicks. All right. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments you want to drop us, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over to what we've been playing? So, Selden, what have you been playing this week?
Pretty much 98% of the time, it's been EA College Football 25. This game
How's
is
that?
freaking beautiful. They've done a phenomenal job at it. They really built this from the ground up. They've really grasped a lot of the college prestige and the histories and the rivalries, and the dynasty mode is phenomenal. They do a good job with that, with recruiting and keeping your players active and keeping them on the team. The gameplay itself is really, really smooth. They really did a good job on it. It's a definite leg up on what Madden has put out the last couple of years. Even the Madden guys are out there asking that, can you please make the next Madden like college football game that's out right now? They really like some of the intricate aspects of it, the kicking, the passing, the running games. They said it's really tight how they've done it. So a lot of good
Nice.
positive reviews coming out of it. It sold a shit ton. We'll get to that later. and I think it's got good legs, and I think it's a phenomenal game right now.
So
But other than that, I did
Awesome.
dabble into the Dungeons of Hinterberg
nice.
a little bit before
How's
the game
that?
dropped for college football. The game is really good. The game is a lot of fun. The progression is very well done. You're not just dropped right into a dungeon. You can work your way up. Areas are blocked off until you can unlock them as you level up through the different dungeons. You don't have to do the dungeons in any special certain way,
Or
but you
even
do
at
have to finish
all.
them. Yeah, you don't even have to do the dungeons at all. But if you want to unlock the other dungeons, you have to finish so many X dungeons before that bridge is rebuilt or whatever it is that you have to get across. But I think this game's got some good legs. I think it's going to be up there in the award categories probably
Yep.
for what it is, and I can't wait to play more of it if I get a chance to.
So have you done any like the dungeons that have like weird um rules? I hate to call them rules, but like that are non-standard where gravity's different or this or that or
No, I went through a couple of them. The second dungeon was a lot of fun. It was there was like mine carts involved with it, so you had to
nice.
lean in the mine carts left and right to go down certain paths. If you miss a path, you're pretty much out of luck. You have to start the dungeon over if you want to get all the boxes and loot from that level and stuff like that. But I still have a long way to go to get into the game. I've only cleared a few dungeons, so.
Yeah, no,
But the
I wanted
puzzles
to.
are fun. The interaction with the people and everything like that is pretty cool. And like you just said, you can just chill. It gives you the option of like, oh, this is a nice spot to sit and relax for the afternoon, and rebuild your mana or whatever. So
Yeah,
it's like,
and just talk to people in
yeah,
town and not do any dungeons, which is weird. But that's what happens when
Yeah.
you're from Austria and it's the pandemic, and then you go take a ride with your friend to the mountains, and you're like, hey, let's build a game here. This is cool. And then
yeah,
you build a game that literally is like you could do stuff or you don't have to. Um,
yeah. And
so
the graphics are phenomenal. I really dig the graphical style that they chose, even for the overworld. Not even some of the dungeons yet, because I haven't seen a lot of the different dungeon, graphical styles. But the overworld, the main world that you're in, is pretty cool. So, and it's
nice.
a pretty big world too. So.
So there's a bunch of different styles, right? It's like each dungeon's sort of a different game style, is that right? Art style
Yes,
and
yeah,
sort of
like
type. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what
cool.
I heard. I haven't seen it yet because I've only been through, like as I said, 3 dungeons. So
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah, I'll
definitely
definitely
want
check
to
it out.
check this out.
I downloaded it, I just haven't had time to start it yet, but it's nice that it's on Game Pass.
yeah,
Now,
but that's
something
about it for me.
you said one other thing. You said you were doing the whatever mode in your EA college football, legacy mode or something,
Dynasty mode.
dynasty mode. So
Dynasty mode.
how do you do a dynasty in a college football game where their career lasts only 4 years?
It's not the dynasty of the players; it's the dynasty of the program. So you're developing a program.
Okay,
You have
all
to
right,
keep recruiting the high school kids to come up to your program, trying to get kids through the transfer portal from other schools, trying to keep your kids on your team instead of letting them go to the transfer portal if they're good. You
okay,
got your coach's legacy, so you got to keep building your coach's, wins, stats, and history, so that he stays at the school. Or you can fire him and get a new coach with different aspects of how he runs the game, different playbooks that he brings in, stuff like that. So
interesting. Kind of like how Pete Carroll went and stole the Patriots playbook way back in the day, and then he went back to being a real coach. So yeah, yeah.
there is another mode where you can actually follow one specific player, where you
But
can,
you're not bitter.
you know,
Sorry.
so you
Oh,
can
no, I
follow
was
the
glad to see him go. We got Belichick after that. So, but you can follow a single player
you
throughout
can
their,
follow a single player through his college career and try to get drafted high and stuff like that.
and then what
Yeah,
happens when he gets drafted? Do you need to buy Madden?
I don't know. Maybe,
This is a
but it's
genius sales pitch. Yes,
I
it's
know.
like, oh, you want to continue playing? No,
You
go
want to
buy
keep playing
Madden.
as
Yes,
Troy Smith? Go ahead. Do you have to buy Madden now?
So last
nice.
week we were talking about this game, and I had brought up the fact that it seemed to be like the people who liked college football were the ones that went to those schools or lived in the towns that the
Or they
schools are,
didn't
and then
have real
root for them.
teams in their area. Yep. Yep.
And I listened to a podcast. I forget which one it was, but a gaming podcast, and they said the exact same thing. Like, I don't know who this,
Nice.
people who like this are probably the people who went to those colleges, went to college, went to those
Yep.
colleges, or
It's just such a
live in
bad
those towns.
stereotype.
And like,
It's such a
because I mean, why
bad
are you
series.
gonna want root for a college town across the entire U.S. that you've
Yes.
never been to?
And you don't know
I don't know.
any of the
It just
players.
seems
They're all
weird.
nobodies. They're fresh out of high school.
Yeah,
Like
how
who
would you
even
even know
knows
who they
these?
are?
Unless you're you're farming Boy Scouts and you're like, hey, what's up, boys? Let's
No,
go camping.
but
But
they
unless
were
you're
saying, in the 90s it was more of a thing, I think, like when the Tar Heels were huge and things like that with but I just don't
I
I guess it's
I think
I don't
that's a
know.
bad stereotype, really, because I mean,
Okay.
there is a huge population of people out there that love college football. They never went to the university; they don't have any connection to it. Your big schools like your Notre Dames, your Michigans, your Ohio States, your Floridas, your Miamis, your Alabamas, your Georgias, they're going to have people that have no association with the college whatsoever that are fans of
except
them.
they live in the area.
They don't necessarily live in the area. You got fans around the world that root for Notre Dame because they're Irish. They're part of
Yeah,
the
but
Catholic Church. You
That's the
got fans
exception to the rule.
across.
that
No
is a
one is voting
connection.
for Ohio State.
That is a
There
connection,
are
it,
though.
people all over the world rooting
no,
for Ohio
unless
State.
they
I
went
have been
to
in foreign
Ohio
countries and I've
State.
had an Ohio State shirt, and I'm walking down the street and I get a
I
big OH, and then of course I
yeah,
go I-O. So
I will
it's
say my
everywhere.
my best friend has always loved Ohio State, lived in Illinois most of his life, never was around there. So yeah, there are people like that. I will say yes, you're right. There are.
And like
I don't know why
Derek,
he
I'm
likes.
like, you can't. You grew up in Boston. I'm like,
We have
you
all the teams.
you
Yeah.
have all the professional teams. Yes, I live in Long Island. Nobody knows college sports out here on Long Island. It just doesn't exist. Maybe a St. John's for the basketball, but
No.
if you grow up in the metropolitan areas around the big sports, where you have two or three possible professional teams there, college sports isn't going to mean much to you at all, except who's getting drafted onto your team.
Oh,
But
we
out
had
in the out
Doug
in the
Flutie,
Midwest, out in
Boston
the South,
College,
like you go
immaculate
down to the
reception.
South, every kid in the South has probably got a favorite college player, college team that they follow.
Bama,
Everybody in the Midwest
Bama,
has got a
yeah,
big team.
Bama, yeah.
I only mentioned this because I was like, oh, this podcast said the exact same thing I just said.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not crazy, but I guess
No,
I'm
we're
not
not. No,
fully correct. So,
no,
that's
we're
fine.
fully correct. Selden's
I
making this
can
shit
say that
up.
I'm, there are
Until Selden
exceptions.
brings his friend on, that
There are
actually,
exceptions.
yes, yeah.
All
So,
right.
all right.
Dungeons and
Shadow, what do you
Pinterberg.
got?
I will check that out. So I got still working on Forza Horizon 4. I'm actually getting really close to getting all the achievements in that. I ended up getting they had a thing on the 17th where they dropped the price of the ultimate upgrade to $10. So I got the game for free because I'd already had some DLC. So I bought the
Mm,
ultimate for $10 and it just added everything else in the entire game, which was nice. And so yeah, I'll finish that up at some point. I think I've got like one achievement left that is gonna be taken down in a month. So I'm hoping to get that one. But otherwise, I don't care about achievements, but I do. So I'm hoping to finish that up. But either way,
That's
it's been
that's the
fun.
one that they gave us the free code for if you had played
Yeah,
it on
yes, yep, yep,
on Game
yep.
Pass. Yeah, I gotta
yeah,
turn that in before they turn that off. So
yeah.
I
So there's
already
a final
turned mine in.
season.
Yeah.
There you go. There's
Mm,
a final season. So what they do with it is they do like all the four seasons of the year, like spring, spring, summer, fall, winter. And they do 1 week for each season. And there's one final set of those that's going to start next week,
yeah.
and then they're done. So then you won't be able to get any achievements related to that stuff. So any listeners, if you want to do that, you got to do it now. You got to get on that next week and make sure that you start it. Otherwise, you can't get it ever again. So
what
in
would it
case
be?
you
Would it
care,
only be summer from now on, or
the seasons will change, but the festival things,
oh,
those
okay.
things won't be any different. Like you won't be able to get the challenges, which are linked to achievements, and those
Okay.
achievements will be not gettable anymore. So,
Smash all
so I'm
your
working on that.
billboards. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, that stuff's fine. It's just anything that's like related to the monthly stuff or the
Yeah,
weekly
okay.
stuff. So, and I had some extra points saved up, and I ended up getting Call of Duty World at War for $10 because that was on sale. I know that's going to be out, I'm sure, eventually with Activision, Microsoft for Game Pass, but I just got this wanting me to go back and finish that because I never finished it and I had gone through all but the last level.
Yeah.
and the last level I got stuck on. I never finished it. So I'm like, I just want to go back and finish that finally. So I picked it up, and my save's still there in the cloud, and it was from 2008. And I got some
Chill.
random achievement uh, for dying 20 times in one level. It was hard. That's why I didn't finish it.
Yeah,
But and it was like your last achievement was 2008, and then today. So it was, what's that, like 16 years between
that's
achievements,
pretty
which is
fucked
kind of
up.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna maybe try to finish that level and finish the game and do a couple other things in there, but it's just one of those that was sort of sitting there outstanding for me, and I wanted to try to finish it because that game sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it sort of sucks. It's
Lots of
really
those
hard to
older ones
see.
suck. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really hard to see. I'm playing on a 130-inch, 35-inch screen, and I still can't see the guys.
Do you crank
And
up your
like it's
brightness?
just yeah, and they're just like
Well,
tiny
well, I
specks
guess
in
with
the
the
distance.
projector, it's probably tough too, just because
I
you have like
No,
that
it's
certain
fine.
lumens loss.
No, it's totally fine normally. It's just that they blend in with the background so well and they're so tiny and I'm just playing regular. Hardened and
Oh,
veteran are gotta be impossible. But I can't even aim. The only way to get to them is to snap to them
yeah,
because you
yeah,
can't even really see them, so you just have to snap to them and hope it hits one of them.
yeah.
Someone ran through that and they throw grenades like crazy in that game. I guess they heard that Call of Duty 4 people thought it was too easy or something, and they wanted to
Yeah.
make this one harder. So, and it was the other company. I think
Yeah,
was it
Treyarch.
Treyarch and
Yeah, Infinity
yeah,
Ward,
so
and yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Treyarch. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just one that I go, I want to finish that, so that's what I'm doing. How
nice.
about you, Derek? Derek, still playing?
The only thing that I jumped on this week, it's been a busy week. I just went back to the Atari 50 anniversary celebration, and I've been working my way through the timeline. I think I'm at 1979 now. Didn't play a lot,
Cool.
but I really fucking enjoy the shit out of this. I like watching the full motion video. I didn't even know what the size of this download was because I didn't really pay attention when I was downloading it, not realizing that it was just going to be full of tons of FMV. But like Cliffy B's in there, he's talking about stuff. Um, and then every once in a while you get to a point where it's like, oh, look at this old shit and go through these photos. And you scroll left to right through the photos. And then you go down to the next thing that's like, oh, yeah, play this game. And you're like, oh, that sounds cool. And then it's like, oh, here's our reimagining of a sequel to that game. Um, so, yeah, I really have enjoyed the shit out of it. Like, I don't even know what I paid for this, but I've already feel like I've got whatever value I paid
Yeah,
for what I've
it's
played
really
so
cool.
far.
Yeah, I
Some,
like
you
it a
ever
lot.
played this?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay.
I looked at it originally to get it, but then I didn't realize all the stuff that you're talking about was in that game.
Yeah,
So
it's almost like a museum that
Yeah.
you're playing and learning through a museum, and then every once in a while they're like, hey, you want to play this game, go ahead. You want to play this knockoff that we did for 2024 or 2022 or whenever it came out, yeah, go play that too. I would recommend to anyone, if you're going to go through this game, just don't jump to the game section. Work your way through the timeline, and at each year go vertically down through, and at any point in that vertical drop, if there's like multiple photos or multiple stories that you can go horizontal, do that, and then continue dropping down. If there's a game you can play, do that, and then go back up and do the next year and move over
Hmm.
and go down and do that. And it's
Yeah, it's just like a big
there's
timeline.
there's so much media in there. Like
It's really cool.
it's insane. So I really feel like this is like I guess I'm 2 years late on this, but it really is a fantastic style game. I wish other companies would go do this with their historical catalogs, because whoever put this together, it really is a labor of love, and they did a really great job with it. So yeah, I'm enjoying the shit out of it. I'm trying not to do it too fast because I'm gonna be sad as fuck when it's done. But I really do like working my way through and just doing the onesie twosie, and And it's like, oh, I made it through another year. All right, let me go cook dinner. Let me go do this. Let me work on the outline for the show or whatever. But it really is. It's well done. It's like the UI is crafted nice, as well as like they went to all the right people, and people you expected them to go to, and then people you totally didn't expect them to go to. Like the guys from like Cliffy B alone. Like he's like, who would have thought Cliffy B would be in a thing about Atari games from 50 years ago? Um, but yeah, it's really well done. They talk to modern devs. They talk to all the guys that actually worked on this shit. Um, so highly recommended. And I'm going to slowly work my way through this over the next couple weeks, and hopefully I don't run out of content. But it's
I
been
don't
it's
remember.
been fun.
I don't remember if I finished that or not. I feel like I did, but I don't remember. Do you know if there's a like a more modern, like all the way to the speaking of Jaguar, I just got a Jaguar recently, but do you know if there's anything with the Jaguar, like any of the most modern things
Uh,
in there, or is it just kind of up to the
no, they had
80s?
mentioned like when you look at the things, if you were gonna skip around, it has
Hmm.
everything from like the 2800, uh like no, no,
2600.
sorry, not the 2600, prior to that, the 1400,
Right. Are they 800? There's an 800, I
800,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
800,
Yeah.
and then 2600, 5200, and then it has all the handhelds, and like, so if you look at it from that jump around perspective, which I didn't want to do, those are all are definitely in there. So yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
but
looking at the list of games on it. There's a bunch of Jaguar games listed. So
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so now I have the Lynx and I have the I just got a Jaguar from eBay that I got for pretty cheap, so that just came today. So I'm scrubbing
nice.
that down right now. But
Yeah,
that's all I have of Atari. It's just the Lynx and the Jaguar, which is 90s stuff. I
yeah.
used to have the 2600 back when I was a kid, but that was just from some like garage sale. My parents got it, and we didn't really play it that much. So I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, I
My
remember.
buddy has a couple of them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, my dad got that very first 2600 when it came out, not the Sears version, the real version,
Right.
and he was like, "This is mine," and he's like, "You can watch." And then
Ah,
eventually, we we got to play combat with him, and then all these other
nice.
games. But yeah, it started out as like a do not touch this. But this was, granted, this is the same time period where at that house, when my parents got their first microwave, they put it in the family room around the corner on a card table because they were unsure of the safety of this
Oh, jeez.
microwave device. So you had to leave the kitchen, walk through the family room, walk down towards the TV, and then walk over into this little alcove where there was a coat closet, and there was a table there where the microwave was,
Wow.
because
maybe
they
maybe they were brilliant. Maybe there wasn't enough shielding in that thing. You would have like roasted yourself on
Maybe.
it or something.
I
maybe
don't know. Those
for the
old ones
first
are
ones,
very
maybe
heavy
they did
duty.
not do that right, but yes. But I still
Yeah.
remember that vividly. And then the Atari showed up, and then I remember when what was the first game? Oh, it's when he had to order Pitfall because it was not a first party game. So he actually ordered that from Activision, and it got shipped to the house, and it didn't have the standard box or any of that other stuff. And yeah, so yeah, I remember those days vividly. I was a little kid, but
Now,
still. So
And
now when you
my
say,
stepfather got it in television. He wouldn't let us touch it
oh,
until
with the
until
little disc
yeah.
things you pushed on, yeah,
Eventually, he let us play baseball with him on it, and
yeah,
then so it probably lasted like 6 months that we weren't allowed to touch that thing, and
yeah,
then eventually we got it.
yeah.
now,
My
and when you say the real 2600, do you mean the wood grain one or like the
Yeah,
silver and
the
black?
wood grain one. Eventually,
Okay,
it was released
like the
by
mini silver and black.
Sears, and it
Yeah,
was called something slightly different, and it wasn't the real uh, uh,
Yeah.
2600. And it wasn't even that far after the release. It just wasn't the Atari branded one. It
Mhm.
was called like Multi Games, or whatever it was called. It was the shit one. But my next door neighbor did have the Intellivision, and his dad did let us play it. And you had to slide the little
those
insert
cover
in
things
over
into the
the keypad, and then yes, and it would have different things per game. So like if you're playing football,
Oh,
it would
yeah.
have the plays you called, and yeah. So
It's like the Dreamcast where you
yeah,
had the
with
little
the
VMUs.
VMUs, yeah,
You could just put your plays in, no one else could see
yeah.
them. That was
The
kind of
VMUs
genius.
were ahead of their time, and I'm surprised that we never saw anything like that again because it was really groundbreaking.
Yeah. I
But
guess
yeah,
now you could just link your phone and just do your plays on your phone somehow. I don't
yeah,
know.
that
I was playing.
Second
I was
screen
playing
it.
college football with my oldest son, and he was totally screen gawking whenever I was picking my plays. Like, because the offense picks their plays first, and then the defense gets to pick their plays, but they're all on the same screen, right? One above the
yeah,
other. So it's like
Yeah.
he could
yeah,
definitely tell if it was a run or pass play.
yeah. It's bullshit. That's what I say. All right. Well, on that, why don't we move on over to the new releases? There's only one real major new release out this week that I wouldn't even call a new release. Like, there couldn't be a more boring game than this. It's F1 Manager 2024, out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Switch, and the PC. So don't get me wrong, you're not driving a car, you're managing a racing team. Does it sound dumb?
Even the box art looks boring as shit.
Yeah,
It's
it's douchey. Yes.
I don't know
Shout,
who that's directed to. Like who's that for? You know?
uh, shout you could,
Aspiring managers? I don't know.
yeah,
What?
like
No?
there has to be so few F1 managers in the world. Like,
Yeah.
at least if you're playing like an NFL game, there's thousands of guys in the NFL. Well, maybe hundreds. I'm not sure of the math, but for people managing F1 racing teams, well, there's probably like 20 of these guys. Like, I don't even know.
Well,
Um,
and games
like if you're
have
into the
manager
whole
mode.
adding
yeah,
wedges and shifting weight ratios and
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
torque.
this doesn't seem fun. This is like when you play Gran Turismo and you're like, oh, I hate this shit. Let me go just play a Forza Horizon game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me
Um,
go around in a circle 200 times.
yeah. But
Fun.
these guys don't even get to drive the cars. Like all you're
No.
doing is managing it. Like
But why is there a game that's just managing? Because football games have manager mode, right? A lot of them
yeah,
do, where you manage. Why does it have to be only manager game?
someone wanted to sell 2 games
Yeah,
instead of
that's probably
1.
why.
Yes.
Yep, you have cracked the code. Good
So
job,
you want to
Jay.
manage? You're buying another game,
Yeah.
motherfucker. But yes, yeah.
You want to play
So
Madden this year with just
Hey, but
roster updates? You're buying a whole nother game.
so yeah, this sounds dumb as shit. It probably is dumb as shit. Not my style of game. If there was anyone in this podcast that I think it might be, even Selden's now shaking it off. He was the one that I thought maybe would be like, guys, hold up. This is my kind of thing. I'm going to manage an F1 racing team. And there's going to be 3 cars all jockeying, and they're going to work with each other and block the other team out and then come back in. And then this guy's going to jockey around. He's going to take the lead for a bit, just like Days of Thunder. But
I will admit that there was
Oh,
a
here we
period
go.
in my life back in early PC gaming. There was a game called, I believe it was Front Page Sports Football, that was just a football manager game that you did not
Okay.
actually play the game. There may have been some limited play calling it, but like there was no actual gameplay on the screen. I think it was all text based almost at that point. So
Oh, wow.
well, see,
Like a Commodore
since
64
we're
game?
all coming clean, I used to play games prior to computers called Statomatic Baseball and Statomatic Football, which were all like card, like you filled in a sheet of paper and everything played itself out based on the player's stats, and they sold a new wow, like this
Wow,
predates Madden, but they sold a new version
Wow.
every year with all the new stats. So
Everything old is new again.
yeah.
It's all the same.
And I remember being at like sleepovers with like 4 of us, like playing this thing till like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, now I look
Okay,
back on it,
Grandpa.
I'm like, this is dumb as shit. Like, why did we do
that
that?
was
Why
like the jock version of Dungeons and Dragons, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. That's yes. Like, why didn't we just watch movies and throw darts or do anything cooler than that? But yeah. So, all right, yeah. So no one likes F1 Manager 2024. Fuck that. All right. Well, if you're in chat right now and you want to drop something there for us to talk about, do it. Otherwise, we're going right into gaming news. First story. And Sultan, I threw you a softball in here for later, but you can pick it up when it's your turn. Halo TV series is canceled after 2 seasons. So I, for one, really like this show. There was some weird shit. No spoilers, but spoilers. There was some weird sex shit in season 1. There's no one that watched the show that's not gonna say that was weird shit. But I felt like it did a good job capturing like this alternate universe Master Chief story. Granted, he had his helmet off 98% of the time. But
we barely saw him in his armor in the second season.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on.
But the sound effects in the show, like every time you heard one, you would get like this little giddy, like, fuck, I know that sound. That's a Needler. Yeah. Like, and like, it wasn't just me. Like, I would look over at Tiff after I heard the sound, and I could see her just fucking grinning ear to ear. Like, there was something cool about this show for people that grew up and loved the Halo games, and we played over and over and over until the next game, and then over and over and over. So I'm kind of sad to see it go, but yeah,
they are still trying to get it picked up elsewhere. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I heard a rumor that
drop
even Microsoft might try to pick it up and do it streaming on Xbox. So that's one of the many rumors.
It is sad to see it go. The writing was on the wall, though, with some of the choices that they made. They definitely played to the fans a lot in the second season, more so than they did the first season, with the little drops of knowledge that you've had to have by playing the games from years and years, like you said. But it's it was good to get 2 seasons out of Paramount. I really expected it to be canceled after the first season, just because that's what they do. But I hope it lands on its feet, but I don't think it's going to. I think there's just too much tied up with how they made the show, so it'll be hard for somebody else to pick it up and run with it. I think.
I would agree.
So I still never have started it yet. So I guess at this point maybe I won't. But the 2 things you mentioned that I'd heard from other people about it was the weird sex stuff and he doesn't wear the armor and the helmet. Like it's just not Halo without that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not
he does
sure
have
I
it
have
on
interest in watching
sometimes.
that.
He does some amount of time
Yeah.
has it on, but
He should have it on like almost all the time. But I guess then you don't see the person's face, and I don't know.
and when you're having sex, it's a little weird for your girl if you're like,
Why is Master Chief having sex?
You don't even want to know.
I don't want to know.
No,
Maybe
but
I
you
won't
do.
watch.
You want to watch the first
No, I
season.
don't.
Yes, yes.
I don't know.
No, you do.
I'm not sure about that. I'm
No,
not
you
sure.
do. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like personally, I think I'm glad they dropped the flood at the very end, but I think that's what might have killed it overall, because I think that once the
it was just too much.
The money behind it saw the flood coming in, they're like, I don't think we want to go with this anymore.
Yeah.
Too much CG.
It is what it is, but it was a great show. I enjoyed it while it lasted, and I would not dissuade anyone, Shadow, who hasn't seen it, Shadow, to watch at least the first season Shadow, or maybe even both season Shadow. So, and you seem to have plenty of time. Like if I go back to your thing,
Shadow.
like I'm just saying a general person, Shadow. All I saw is this person that I'm recommending to played like an ancient Call of Duty game and an ancient Forza game. So if I was to tell someone, Shadow, to try out the Halo show, this might be the time, Shadow.
Weird.
At least
I
you
don't know who
know
you're
that
talking to, though.
there's nothing coming past it. Like
As
as
a
of
video
now,
You
game
know, it
fan,
just ends without any resolution. Great.
just like every Halo game. Every
I just
Halo
had two
as
game
a video
ends
game
with
fan,
let's
it should be
drive over
required
these
watching.
ramps.
Ugh.
The whole shit's
true.
falling out under me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I gotta drive faster. Oh,
We saved the
you fell through.
day. The
Oh no,
end.
drive again. Oh, you gotta drive faster. You gotta make this left harder. And then they like literally every Halo game ended with that driving thing. Like,
Yeah.
right? Am I wrong?
I
It was
mean,
not
first
the
and
first
third
one.
for sure.
Yeah, but it was always like
Yeah.
drive faster, don't let the floor fall out from under you, and then
Yeah.
make that last jump.
Dukes of Hazzard jump.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
I don't
They all
know.
ended the same way. So,
Okay. We'll see.
all right. Next story.
Oh, I guess I'll go with this one. Hey, look, EA Sports College Football 25 has sold 2.2 million copies. The $100 copies, nonetheless, with an early access. They also had an additional at least 600,000 people that played through subscription services like EA Play. I think I talked a bit about this earlier, but great show, great great initial release of the game after 11 years or so that they've been gone. So good for EA, good for EA college football. So looking
So
forward to playing some more.
2.2 million people had to play it early, so they bought $100 copies.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's sad.
That's how they're getting everybody these
This
days.
is how those people were so sad there was no college football for 11 years. They couldn't wait an extra 2 weeks to get the game.
Like, we gotta
It was
We gotta
5
be
days,
special
an
and
extra
play
5 days.
Oh, 5 days?
Yeah.
We gotta be special and play it now.
I had bought the base version, but since I'm through Game Pass Ultimate, that I'd get the early access through EA automatically.
Nice.
So I was able to get it for the $60 $70 version.
I
There you
have
go.
the early
Early
access through that too, but I have not played this game because zero folks.
You and Mike should jump on and play a couple games. Come on, play a little Boston College versus Notre Dame or whoever he roots for out there in Chicagoland.
My good buddy Mike Scott went to Bowling Green State University.
Oh, so he can
BGSU is probably in the game.
Yeah, they are. The Mid American Conference is in there, baby.
Yeah, one of my
Who
best
knew
friends
there
was
was a
Notre Dame.
conference? Who knew?
They always go see Notre Dame games, and it's really hard to find tickets to Notre Dame football. It's almost impossible. So, but he goes anyway.
Yeah, if you ever go to a college town when there's a home game like that, there is probably 4 to 5 times as many people outside the stadium tailgating as the game's going on inside with a packed stadium. So
yeah, they've occasionally done that where they just
shut down
because they can't get in
those areas where those games are.
The only time I've ever been to one of those besides Boston College, because obviously it's fucking here,
They suck.
was, except for Doug Flutie, was MGO Blue. That's where GBMS got married, was at Michigan. So yeah. I was there in that stadium. So
look at you.
Yeah.
Is that where you got married, in the stadium?
Not in the stadium itself, but I was there. Yes. It was a stadium adjacent.
But anyways, good sales. I'd like to see. I think there's probably going to be even more sales as some of the Madden guys see some of the reviews. I think some of them are holding off on buying it, but now that they're going to see the reviews, I think a lot of guys are going to jump on. So I think we'll get more.
No, it happens. All right, next story.
The FTC is as mad about the Xbox Game Pass price increase as you are. The agency says that it's an example of how the Microsoft Activision merger can harm consumers. Says they made changes to the Xbox Game Pass service that are the exactly sort of consumer harm that they were worried about. That the price increased 17% year over year. Said that they increased $11 to $15, and there's no more base tier, and it's just standard tier. The acquisition would benefit that they said that they promised that it would benefit consumers by making Call of Duty available on Game Pass on the day it released on console with no price increase for the service based on acquisition, like we talked about last
Yeah.
week and the previous week. But Microsoft actions show a firm that's exercising market power post-merger, it noted. Yeah, I mean, it's basically they said that there's going to be no price increase because of Call of Duty or anything or the
It was just
Activision
going to be
stuff,
an
and
added
then
bonus icing on the top. Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
and then immediately there was a price increase, and they changed up their tiers and all
They
this.
drop
So
the bottom tier. You don't get it day one.
yep.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Microsoft did fire back though. They were like, this wasn't your contention. The games are still going to be available on all platforms. It's not that we're restricting access from anybody,
no, it's some of the
and
stuff
it's not.
like
We're not holding Call of Duty back from
I
anybody.
mean,
Like,
I'm
that's just what
normally
you
Microsoft
can
responded,
buy
I
it
think,
if
on
you
Twitter.
want.
So
I'm
You can buy
normally
it if you
someone
want.
that sticks up for Microsoft, but like I do feel there was some disingenuity here. Like,
I
it,
mean, when they said last year we're not going to increase the price, and then they did. That's
and when
the
they
main
said
thing.
it's going to be available to all Game Pass people on day one, and then it wasn't.
And yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this was before anything has even they haven't even put Activision stuff on Game Pass yet.
No.
It's going to be in the fall, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, there's
I agree with the FTC, which is weird.
Yeah, I never thought I would agree with them either because, like, we spent months being like, fuck the FTC, let this shit go through. And then we let it go through and we're like, oh, I see. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know, man.
What
But
did
it's
we,
I'm not happy
who
about
did
it
we
either.
back?
So.
Yes. Yeah. So.
So that's it. That was that story. And yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. I'm not sure how that's gonna happen or what's even gonna happen with it because they obviously didn't do anything. I mean, they allowed the merger, so now they're just gonna say, "Hey, you told us that you're not gonna raise the price." Okay, well, as a business, we're able to
we had
raise our
to do it
prices.
to cover our operating expenses. And yes,
Yeah.
just this is how Selden's works every day without revealing where Selden works. Like all they do is make excuses to take your money. So yeah.
we just are the tool that collects the money. We don't force you.
that's oh, I was just following orders. Yes.
It's coming down from your Congress up there,
No.
not us.
And Blue Steel in chat says bean counters have all the power. Yeah, they certainly do.
Hey,
All right. Next story. Netflix, of all fucking places, has 80 plus games in development. So we know that Netflix distributes some games over their weird ass, like you're a Netflix subscriber, you can put this on your phone kind of thing, or you can download it to your PC. But to have 80 plus games in development, that's more than any game studio ever has in development at any given time. Well, maybe with the exception of Selden Shovelware companies, that those guys probably have like 200 games in development at a time, and then Selden's like, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please, and he downloads all
Yeah,
of it.
but this is more like they bought all these studios, and all these studios already had games they were doing, and then now they're
Oh,
Netflix.
you're saying it's because they've come in mid race.
I mean, they're not. They're not like, okay, let's make this game times 80. It's just not. No, these were companies that they bought that were already making games, and like Night School and other ones. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, no, I can see that argument as well.
And honestly, I bet you a majority of these Netflix games are your phone games. They're probably just reskins to movie themes of other games that they already have or that were in development already. I don't think that they're putting out AAA titles and, you know,
no, they said they have some AAA titles in
well, I'm
here.
sure they have a
Yeah.
couple. Like one of the
Well,
ones that they were going to talk about in a minute is probably going to be an upscale title, but I don't think it's going to be a AAA title.
I mean, the
Then
last one here on the page says Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition. Well, I mean that's already
That's old
released, but like
news. Yes, yeah,
it's not like a new game. And who knows, maybe this stuff is just a lot of old games, like you mentioned, Sheldon, that are just coming
yeah.
out again.
But it is
Oh,
interesting that Netflix is dipping their toes in this pool. Like it never was, and then Netflix was like, let's get into gaming, and they would give you like 3 games on your cell phone as long as you pulled them in through the Netflix downloader thing and whatever else, and uh, so this is
yeah, as I said, I'd just be interested to see how many of these 80 games are just your shovelware match threes or your Farmville clones or
so you're
other
saying
stuff
yeah.
that
your playlist of games.
okay, I'll take the hit on that one. I do play some of those games, but
But I just thought it was an interesting story, so that's why I had it. Also, there were not a lot of news stories this week, so I had to drop low in the barrel here. So, uh, but I'll save us. Next story.
all right. Well, on the back of that story, we'll just go ahead with the Netflix will drop a new multiplayer game when Squid Game Season 2 premieres this year.
Holla.
Yay.
Whoa,
It's
whoa, what the fuck,
I'm
Bry?
excited. I'm excited for Squid Game season 2, but not a game based on it. It's kind of weird.
Okay. Well,
it'll
I
be a
can,
collection of mini
yeah,
games where you have to work your way through and try to get to the end
and not
result.
be the last one to finish the mini game.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but
So
I'd rather
Red
just
light,
watch it.
green light. Oh no!
it'll be like a
Scrape your
Fall Guys.
cookie.
That's.
Yes,
You
yes, yeah.
gotta,
Yeah,
you gotta
scrape.
moisten the cookie and
Yeah,
then break
then
it.
scrape your cookie. Yes, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You gotta lick your controller.
Yes.
Force feedback.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. Wait, no. No. That's why your controls are all broken.
yeah. Oh,
You're licking your
I'm
controller.
telling you, I can lick this guy all day long. Nothing happens to him. Guys, this is a
Please
scuff
don't.
controller. This
Please
is
don't.
this is so much better than every Elite controller I've owned.
So is
I
that's a
even my
different
la-
brand than Microsoft?
yeah, that's a scuff.
Yeah, I might have to
Okay.
change because even my latest Elite controller, one of the bumpers is starting to go again
Yeah,
already. I'm
no,
like,
I've blown so many
motherfuckers.
bumpers on the Elites. Like between Tiff and I, we spent like $800 on Elite controllers over the years. This thing has not done me wrong. This is Scuff's version. It has its own paddles on the back that are not
Oh.
the stupid metal ones that pop
Detachables.
off, and yeah, highly recommend these guys. They're not a sponsor of the show. I don't get any money from this, but this
But
is
they
the
could be.
You're playing like
well, I guess
All
yeah,
Guys
maybe
and
I should.
I don't know, Jack. What are you playing nowadays that you even have to worry about throwing your controllers anymore?
Well, because
You don't.
GVMS doesn't like Halo anymore. I got to come back into it. But we did play a full year of Halo and what's the stupid vampire game?
Vampire Survivors.
Redfall.
Redfall.
Not
And
stupid.
yeah, and
Oh
we
yeah,
played.
Redfall. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we played
were that guy that played that game.
Yeah, we played a shitload of games this year, so it's not like I used the controller any less. And they were all first-person games. We played Dead Island this year. All these things would have broken an Elite controller in minutes. So, yeah. I'm a huge fan of those. So
How did we get on that?
I
Squid
don't.
Game?
Who knows? Yes.
Yeah,
Next story.
yeah.
How about that?
Licking
All
your
right,
controller.
next
That's
story. Oh, this is me.
It's really Shadow, but go ahead.
Oh no, is it Shadow?
Yeah, because I just
It
took
is,
the I took the
All
Squid
right.
Game.
Oh yeah. Then I'm gonna delete the last story
Whatever.
after he does
So,
this one.
okay, Bethesda Game Studios workers have unionized. More than 200 workers have formed a union at the legendary studio. Hey, cool, I guess. I'm glad that hopefully that will help them make new games in the future and stick together and not be constantly churned through.
You mean like a
Like one
union?
can hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Microsoft has recognized the union, and they've already recognized Activision and ZeniMax unions, I guess. So, said the first wall-to-wall union at a Microsoft video game studio, meaning that all eligible job titles will be represented instead of just one type of worker. So cool. I mean, that's
Well, that's
good
something
for
positive
them.
out of the Microsoft FTC thing is they
Yeah.
opened up the door to say that they're going to let unions no matter what if they want to
Yeah.
form, they can
Someone's
form.
sticking up for him. Yeah, yeah. Such an ass.
Hey, I mean,
kisser.
hopefully it'll keep studios around longer, as long as they're making decent games. I mean, because they'd either have to like completely shut them down, or they're not just be able to like randomly let go 100 people here and there. It's like, all right, we got to work with the union, or we're just our studio's gone. So,
Or we're going to have to
I think
raise the
it'll
price of
help.
GameStop, Game Pass.
That too.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah,
It's a
spoken
good
like a
story.
true G-man. Um, I already struck through this last story, but I'm
Yeah,
just going to say the name of it. Blizzard reveals gameplay for the new Diablo 4 class, Spiritborn. This class is fucked up.
cool.
It seems cool. Tiff's actually restarted playing Diablo 4 over the last couple days, so um,
I still haven't played it. I went to Game Pass and I still haven't played it. I just haven't had time.
yeah, it's definitely not as good as the previous Diablo. That's why I can't go back. But
I really liked 3
yeah,
a lot.
3, like we played the shit out of 3, and then we had all the additions of it. I think we played
Yeah.
3 on 3 different console generations. We
Mm-hmm.
started on the 360, and then we had it on the One
One.
X, and then we got the updated one on the Series X, and played through it like for so many years, and it was so great. This one just sometimes they overthink things and they want to create. It's kind of like how Fortnite overthought their shit for a while, and then they were like, "Let's get back to the basics." But then they went nuts again. They did all kinds of cocaine. They're like, "Let's make a Guitar Hero game, and let's make a Lego game, and let's make a racing game." But for a while, they were back on the rails, and then the cocaine got involved again, and then
Yeah.
shit went nuts.
They're
Yeah.
bringing the Cybertruck in tomorrow to Fortnite. That's how
See,
fucking
this
uncooked they
is
are.
Seriously?
what happened. See, this is
No.
what happens when you introduce. You put your Coke in my video games. You put your video games in my Coke,
My God.
and then this happens. So yeah.
Like my biggest issue with why I didn't keep playing Diablo is because it's kind of grindy, but then like you want to develop a weapon. You find a weapon you're really fucking cool with that you really want to play with, but it's useless in like 2 minutes. It's just like the weapons progress weirdly that you can't develop the weapons fast enough to keep them relevant to the other weapons that you're using, and I don't know. It is a weird mix of how they do what they were doing progression in the game.
Yep, I hear you. I hear you.
Then there's games like Forza Horizon, which are kind of the same each time, and they're just always good. Just keep doing what you're doing. Make better graphics. Just keep doing the same thing. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure that's not quite the same either, but
Well,
I'll let you call it like that. Yeah.
well, when you're saying that they change things and they're overthinking it and they're doing stuff like that, stop overthinking it. Just make, similar type of game that people liked, but just a little different.
And when they get bored, you do Coke and you make Hot Wheel tracks.
Yeah, I see
That
exactly.
too. And
Yes,
Lego
yes.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
These guys go nuts. They're like, you know what people would love in Fortnite is like fucking Guitar Hero. And you're like, why?
What?
How did you even get from A to B? It doesn't make sense. Like, or like, you know what people would love in Fortnite? This third person shooting game? Hang on. Check this out. We're gonna make a Lego game. Like, none of this makes sense. Like, I guess it's no weirder than when they're like, "Hey, let's do a concert in our game," and now they've done like 10 of them,
How do you
right?
even play it? I guess it's just the main buttons on the controller and that's it.
For the guitar stuff,
Yeah.
it was,
Maybe XY.
and then finally, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they added support for the guitar or for the Rock Band 4 controllers, and now they're
Wow.
also selling their own third-party
Really?
controllers. Yes, to play the
I was wondering if they
music.
would do that.
Yeah, just when we
Plastic
thought that
instruments are back again,
they're
man.
back, back and better
And I
than
bet those
ever.
old Rock Band 4 guitars are probably worth a ton now.
Oh, they were selling before they created this new like knockoff ones. They were selling insane prices on eBay because I
Yeah.
was like, well, maybe I could use a second one, and I was like, no, I can't use a
No.
second one. No,
No. No, I
I'm good with what
can't.
I got. Yeah, yeah,
Even you were like, I'm gonna buy every controller ever.
yeah, yeah.
I don't need
No,
that.
you
That's
see,
too
I
rich for
like
my
how you're like,
blood.
even you, like,
Even you.
does it seem like
I
I
spent
have
eight
no
hundred
budget?
dollars on Elite controllers. I'm not buying that.
No,
That's
no,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah, yes, yeah. So, fuck them. All right.
Uh,
Well, if any of you have great news stories for next week, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com or comment on this episode thread in the Tools Play homepage. And sponsors! If we had them, we'd pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. But if you want to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us, podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you what you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool Player at twitter.com/toolplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. That is literally your DVR of Tool to Play content. So every episode of Quick Hits, every episode of Still Got Game, every episode of Thick and Thin with LB and Duty, every episode of so audio listeners don't see
Connect
this,
show.
but I was waiting for Selden's eyes to lift up. But yes, Selden has a show there too. Contractually not allowed to discuss it here for many reasons, but he has
Banned
a show
in
there
certain
too.
countries.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's definitely banned in lots of countries. But yeah, so his show's there too. So please go follow us on YouTube and go enjoy our full archive of video content. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Please rate and review the podcast on Apple Music. Please rate and review the podcast on Androidiot. Please rate and review the podcast on Spotify. Please rate and review it wherever you listen to it. Go and rate and review the podcast there. And if that sort of podcast service gives you a star or a heart level, give us 5 of them, unless it's 10, and then give us 10. If that's the max, just give us the max. And then
And if it goes to 11, give us 11.
this one goes to 11. And then if they let you drop a little audio content or like text content in there or audio content, just say a little something nice about us. Be like, yeah, these guys are fucking great. Like, they make my week every week. Like, I don't even know what I would do without these guys. I need them. I need their content, and without them, I couldn't go on. So yeah, it's just something like that, just something casual. So yeah, definitely drop that in there and help us out, please. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/still_got_game. That's twitch.tv/still_got_game. Follow us there, and eventually, hopefully, we'll be partnered on that Twitch channel like our old one, but we'll see what happens. We have a Discord. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. I'm not the best responder there. Shadow's pretty decent. Tiff's not a good responder. Selton, as long as he hasn't put his phone in like do not disturb mode because he's out hiking.
A Faraday cage.
Yeah, or put exactly or in a Faraday cage. He's
not bother me.
He's
am
usually a good
in a
responder.
tent.
Yes,
Okay.
but his tents are literally built like Faraday cages. So as soon as he's in it, he can't hear shit. And he doesn't get notifications or anything else. Shadow will try to cover you in that meantime, but yeah, definitely go there, and that's how you can interact with the show, talk to us, bring up comments, questions, talk offline. Like maybe you don't want somebody on the show to hear like like you jerked off to Leisure Suit Larry or something, and you just want to bring it up in the privacy.
I also don't want to hear that. No.
You want to bring it up in a private conversation with Shadow.
No, please don't.
So yeah, bring it to our Discord. So that's discord.me/stillgotgame. So before we get to the end and wrap things up, either of you guys have anything you want to pimp this week?
You can check my socials on linktree/Selden007 or linktree.ee/Selden007. However, just search Linktree Selden007. You'll find me. No, I would like to say, Charisma Devil, man, just keep pumping those questions up. You'll get there. You got it.
Wow, you looped back around to make up for your sins.
And maybe he didn't even, or she, don't know if it's a he or she, but maybe they didn't even get this far.
No,
in the show. So.
Fair enough.
Me too. Linktree/Brian S. Emerick, BRINSEMERICK. All my stuff's there. Socials and charities I support and everything me is there. So go ahead and check that out, and that'll give you links to everything. This week I would say just check out my charities on there and support them if you can.
Fair enough. Well, I am at linktree/Derek Nolan. That's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. That's how you say it, right? So, you can find all of my links and socials there, as well as all of the shows. This week, I'm going to change things up and I'm going to start dropping my charity stuff also into my Linktree. But this week, I think I'm going to go with the animals that don't have homes. So, like there's plenty of kittens out there. There's plenty of puppies out there that don't have homes. They go into these shelters, and it sounds terrible to call them this, but if you can call it a no-kill shelter, then you should also be able to call the other shelters kill shelters. And that's a horrible thought to me as someone that loves pets. And like, just if you have room in your home and you're looking for an animal to love, don't just go buy one, go save it. And usually from these places, it's not like it's going to cost you a lot less than buying your pet. Just go, you basically pay for the shots and for the medical checkup and everything else. And then they come home with you, and it's a little thing to love that's going to love you back, and it's going to appreciate everything that you do for it because it was in a cage and now it's in your home. So just seriously think about it. Think about going and adopting a pet from one of these shelters. It's going to make your lives better. It's going to make your kids' lives better, and it's just something nice to do. We have 3 cats in our house, so like, I'm like we adopted 2 of them from Turks and Caicos, and then they had a disease and they needed their teeth taken out, and that cost them an extra $4,000 each. But that's not what I'm pitching here. Just
You're stepping on your own.
Yeah, I'm stepping on my own
stuff.
thing. Yes, yeah. Because I got pissed again for a second. But yeah, so just go adopt these guys. They cost nothing once you adopt them. So yeah,
Except 4,000. No, I'm just kidding. Both of our
Yeah,
dogs that we've
support
had,
you.
we adopted. So, shelters,
Nice.
great dogs in shelters. A lot of times they're just there for who knows what reason. It's not like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with them most of the time. Maybe sometimes they have issues, but go
Sometimes
to a
it's just
shelter
the person was
first.
allergic to them. Yeah.
Go to a shelter first.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
I say.
Just don't do puppy mills. That's all I ask.
No.
All right. Well, on that, I want to remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/tool to play, facebook.com/tool to play, twitch.tv/still_got_game, and kick.com/still_got_game. Now, you may have noticed I did not say x.com/tool to play. Hence, these guys have switched to a monetary need for us to be able to stream there. So we'll still post content to x.com/tool to play, but we're not going to be broadcasting live there anymore. So right now we have 4 sources. I'm experimenting with some other ones. Selden and I were working on something earlier tonight. So we will be back to our full 5 restream sources that I pay for, but definitely not x.com/tool to play. So on that, why don't we, oh my God, Blue Steel, but not next week because Derek forgot what week Vulgarthon is. It's not that I forgot what week. It's
Yeah, it kind of did.
it's this July goes such a weird ass fucking schedule. We're like, there's a July 27th, but then there's still a whole another week in July.
Yeah, that's how days work.
Yeah. So there'll be no show next week, but we'll be back the week after that. All right, on that, why don't we wrap this skipping next week episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris OHIO Selden 007 Selden.
Oh.
And I'm just Brian Shadow Emery. That's all.
Peace out, motherfuckers.